Welcome on this this Sunday morning for brunch time. Karen, how are you today?
I am doing wonderful. Hello to everyone. I'm excited. I love the topic today to get us started. So I'm looking forward to it.
You ready to go?
I
We're not going to leave the people. We're not going to leave the people wondering, but
no.
we are talking about today is cheating a deal breaker in your relationship. And just to give people a brief synopsis of why I chose the topic is because last night I went to the Mary J. Blige concert here in Las Vegas. And, I didn't know I was going. My son, sweet guy, my son bought me tickets for my birthday. So that was he's just a sweetheart. So
Amazing.
cool guy, he's the cool guy. So I, everybody knows, you even know that Mary J. Blige is my favorite artist. When it's singing, because I grew up with Mary, you know what I'm saying, in
Right.
that aspect. So Mary is my all-time favorite. She's just that hip hop girl. She is the
Mhm,
queen of hip hop soul. That is my era, hip hop.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so she is probably a female artist. She is the only artist that I have purchased their entire catalog, other than
Mhm.
DMX.
Nice.
other
Oh
other
yeah.
other than DMX, I have his entire catalog too. But Mary is my girl, and so I think I want to say this is the first concert that she's done in Vegas since her divorce.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, since her divorce. And so it was really interesting because I tell you, she sang from her heart.
Okay.
She sang from her heart. Of course, when it was time to do, Not Gonna Cry, and
Uh-huh.
and those songs that where you think about your relationships, and I mean
Mhm,
she went in.
mhm.
And especially when she sang "Take Me as I Am."
Yes, that's
So
mine. That's
yes,
my
yes,
song. Hello.
yes, "Take Me as I Am." Honey, she
Mhm.
went in, and Mary, she raw, and
Yes.
she was like, she said, "I'm just happy to be free. I'm
Mm,
happy to be free. I'm happy to be done with the foolishness."
mm.
Um, I really do. She's one of those artists that I really pray for. That just, I mean, if she just stays single and just mingle, or or God really just, brings her the type of dude that she needs.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
because it's gonna take a specific dude for her. Because
Well,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's just her male choice of who she wants, because KC really embarrassed her.
Mm,
He done gave her a whole ring and they preparing to get married. This fool go on TV talking about he ain't getting married. So that hurt her.
mhm.
And then this Kendu Isaacs dude, who nobody knew about,
Mhm,
but her own friends,
mhm.
her own friends, that she's been close to is like, well, we didn't know him in the industry at all. We didn't know him, but we accepted him because we were your friend.
Right.
We're your friend. And I think even Angie Martinez,
Mm,
stated that in an interview that she had did with Mary. But um why I want to get into this topic is cheating a deal breaker. I remember when Mary doing her interview with Angie,
mhm.
she made this comment and it has always stuck with me. She made this comment, and she said, I was willing to share, but it just couldn't have been with the woman that he cheated on her with.
Mm,
Because supposedly, I won't even say supposedly, I mean, they know who it is, but, Mary was, starting a record company and she was, talent searching.
mhm.
And so the chick that she was molding,
Mm,
and
mhm.
preparing to put work out for is the chick who her husband actually had an affair,
Mhm.
on her with. So she's like, wait a minute. That's what we doing. You using my money.
Right.
So she was saying, what, I would have been willing to share, but it just couldn't have been her. Which I understand. You know what? This girl done probably been in my house. I've spent time with this chick. You know what I'm saying? I've invested money into her. And this what you go do? I'm sure she'll probably never receive a record deal. I'm sure she's probably blackballed at this point. But that's the way the game goes, But I mean, it's kind of crazy. So I said, you know what? Is cheating really a deal breaker? And that goes into the next person. So that Nia Long and her longtime beau, Ume, has been caught.
Yeah. She's in her statement though already. She's sticking by him.
Of course. And as you see on our thumb page, I put a picture up of Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it, because I want to talk about all these artists and it's crazy because people are always saying relationship goals. Mm-hmm. I don't look to these people for relationship goals. Well, I like whatever product you selling. Right. I like your music. But would I really listen to Mary's relationship goals? No. I'm a die-hard fan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a die-hard fan.
Right.
Everybody knows. I've been down since what's the 411 hunt.
Well, hello.
Hey, I got it going on.
Let's just give a little due to Mary really quickly. I'm assuming since she has sparked the whole topic that the concert did not disappoint.
Oh, absolutely not.
Got it. Okay.
Absolutely not. Well, we can talk about that too. Because she did bring some new talent with her. She brought Queen Naija and Ella Mai.
I do like Queen Naija.
You know what? I have a newfound respect for Queen Naija. I really do. I can't get into. They all say, I think I can't get into it because they all sound the same.
Oh, okay.
A lot. It's like this Aaliyah sound where they're whispering and.
Oh, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
I come from an era of the Arethas, the Stephanie Mills, the Karen Whites, and what people actually could sing. So I like soul singers. Honey, I've seen Fantasia bring the room down, and Fantasia, baby, will pull a Patty in a minute and throw them shoes off and come in the stands with you. Okay. So I like real singers, but she did bring Queen Naija and Ella Mai. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a big fan of Ella Mai, never have been. And I'm glad it kind of proves me right, because the music just overpowered her voice. It was awful.
Okay.
Her whole set was awful.
She's a young artist, though. She may just need some time. Getting on the stage with Mary will give her a lot of experience on what she needs to sound like.
Right.
To captivate that audience. So
yeah. It was
growing pains. I was disappointed with Keisha Cole when I saw her live.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought to myself, maybe she's just because even though she had a few songs out and stuff, I don't think she had done many live events. And
I think the pressure of her being called a little Mary.
Yeah.
Brought a lot. But Mary, shady Mary, honey. Honey, Mary refused to do a duet with her.
Oh.
Yes, Mary was like, no, I'm not doing it. Which I can understand, Mary, first of all, Mary chose to do a duet with Beyonce, and it was probably the worst songs on the album.
Oh,
because it's two different genres, right?
Right.
Remember, Love Don't Live Here. Remember that, right? When you had Faith and Mary on a track together, and that was our track. You know what I'm saying? But to bring Beyonce and Mary on a track together, it was just the most awkward thing I'd ever heard.
Oh.
You know. But anyways, and that's no shade, because I do respect Beyonce's talent. She's not my favorite, but but I know you love her.
Yes, I can. Yes, I
I
do.
know you love her. But
Uh,
she's not my favorite. I've been rocking with you, honey, because I remember when that ring the alarm, honey, came, you called me.
yes. Yes. She
You
did
said,
it with that.
have you heard this?
She did it with that album. I like that
Yeah,
whole album. I like her,
yeah,
her
yeah.
style and
Well,
everything like
y'all both Virgos. I can see that.
so. But cheating is
Yes.
so the whole aspect of cheating
Right.
is, let's just define it, because a lot of time I find that men and women aren't on the same page. I mean, no, let me take that back. Men play games like they don't know our expectations. Okay. And so let's define that right now.
Okay.
And that way, when we move forward, we've already got the groundwork. We know exactly what we feel cheating is. And so for me, it's the deception, the hiding, the what is it I'm looking for? It's basically and this is my definition,
No.
is going behind my back
Mm.
and engaging in behavior will offend me.
Okay.
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 So, and then that umbrella is a lot of behavior.
Okay.
Okay. And what's
Okay.
your definition?
Well, my definition of cheating is spending quality time with someone other than your significant other,
Mm,
and in a sexual and an emotional way.
mm,
Because we can spend quality time with our parents,
right.
and have an emotional connection. But I'm talking more on an emotional, physical
Mhm.
type behavior. But the good thing about it is you made a point, is the deception, because sometimes it ain't cheating if he lets you know.
Well, yeah. So that's why it's good to put that out there.
Right,
That
right,
that aspect of it is a
right,
part of what I define it to be. Is
right,
it's got to be deceptive.
right.
I mean, is it really cheating if you're aware and okay with it? I would say no.
Okay. Well, my definition still stands. You spending quality time,
Mhm.
and you building these relationships, and this can even happen at work when you're with someone, over 50 something hours a week. With
Right.
because I had a work husband. I
And
did. I
lots of
had a work
people do.
husband.
Lots of people do.
Right. Nothing ever went, far, nothing, we've never had
Mhm.
anything other than work, but I've had a couple work husbands, but still, if I was in a relationship, would that be respectful to my other half? And that would be a mature conversation to have with him, because I would have to, speak those things, and or speak with him to see how he feels on that. And if it is a problem for him, that I make sure that I respect that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think we've laid the groundwork on what cheating is?
I think we have put it
Okay.
out there,
Okay.
and so I'm ready.
All
So
right.
who are we discussing first? It's easy to go to what's fresh, which would
Right.
be Nia.
Well, let's do it.
And
Let's do it.
I'm very sad for her
Uh-huh.
if she was unaware, you
Yeah.
know, if she was blindsided, all of the
Yeah.
things that come with a public humiliation and admission
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I feel bad for her because she's beautiful. She's always got a smile on her face. And when I see her, she just makes me happy. She doesn't
Yeah.
bring negative thoughts or energy to me. So it's very sad that she's, experiencing such a public,
Yes.
such a public slap in the face,
And look at who it was with. Now, this is the problem. Well, we'll get there, I guess. Let's slow roll it and take it back.
Do we know who he was cheating with?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you a picture of her.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna show you a picture of her. Oh yes, because she's finally been revealed.
Oh, okay. I was searching for a second and then I gave up. I was searching. Yeah, I will not lie. I wanted to know, very vain, what she looked like. And I know that the looks don't matter, and I know that has very little to do with it. Oftentimes, but man, I was desperate to know what he had, why, is it obvious by just looking at this woman? Is she a temptress? Is she a woman that is just so beautiful that, I was very curious. So yeah, pull that up. I would love to see.
Oh, I am.
What she looks like.
Hold on.
I am holding.
But what I do want to say is on that topic, because you said you felt bad for her.
I do.
I do. I feel bad for her if she didn't know.
If she didn't know, of course.
And I believe Nia Long knows his behavior. I believe she knows his behavior.
Got it.
I believe that, and that's in the industry. That really is in the industry. It's real, and it breaks my heart that people always want to go into an industry such as that one, but it is something that you're gonna have to deal with when you step into that role of being with somebody like that in the public eye.
Got it.
I think, they know the territory, and that's why I believe too is going back with Mary, when she said, I was willing to share, but it just wasn't going to be with her. Now that girl brought up, when I heard that, I was like, wow, Mary, is willing to share.
Well, I'm going to take that and say this. I'm going to take that and say, is that settling?
I think it is.
I hear settling in
I
that.
do too.
I don't get the vibe from Mary that she's okay with sharing.
Well, let me tell you, I do.
I believe
that there are long-term, there have been long rumors that Mary goes both ways.
Well, okay, that's different. That's different. I'm talking about being in love and sharing your partner. I don't get that vibe from her.
Okay.
I do get a vibe that once she's in love, she'll do whatever it takes to make that work.
Oh, I can see that.
I see that. I see that in no way, shape, or form, when she's introduced to a relationship, is she okay with sharing anything,
Right.
And so I believe once she's pushed into a corner and trying to save a relationship, I believe that she's willing to go there as far as her relationship. But I don't think that that's her go-to. I don't think that makes her comfortable or happy.
Wow. I can see that. And I I'm with you on that. It is settling. It is settling, but it's like what the type of man that you're settling for,
right?
Now, let me say this: when you add Beyonce in that category, Beyonce, of course, have stayed with Jay-Z because sometimes marriage is more than just the relationship. It can be a business relationship.
Yeah.
And like she says, sometimes shit goes down when it's $1 billion on the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. But
She
I'm
said
not gonna, I'm not gonna let her get away with that either, right?
it.
And this is just because I love her so much
Yes, you
that
do.
I'm going to back her up with devil's advocacy here
Okay.
and say that you didn't get into it with Jay-Z on the elevator. Your sister did,
Right.
which leads us to a catastrophic. If I had saw Beyonce kind of wagging her finger at Jay-Z, or something like that, that's that marital stuff that goes on, right?
Right.
Once you guys ducked into that elevator and your sister took off on him, we're talking about something. Yeah, it did go down on the elevator.
It
Okay.
did. It
Yeah.
sure did.
Yeah. So I'm not going to let her escape so,
Mm.
away with anything. If it's ruffling the feathers of loved ones, enough to get physical, then there's definitely an issue here,
It sure
So
is.
I'm not going to let her get away with that. No.
Okay.
Okay.
That is very true because you putting everybody, you
Yeah. I
know.
mean, that's something that upset your sister
Yeah.
enough to physically confront Jay-Z.
And she was going in on him.
You see what I'm saying? And
She was
so
going in on
that
but I can say this, honey. Jay-Z is very respectful because he did not. I mean, he took them blows.
I'm gonna say this. I don't know about he used restraint,
Yes, he did.
and I will say maybe he has a little more consciousness than Solange.
Oh, of course.
He's got a little more wherewithal to know that her situation caught up hitting him ain't gonna end like him defending himself.
Right.
Is gonna be spent. So I
And you in a damn elevator. You know
yeah,
better.
I believe that he's not a dummy at
Right.
all. And so he might have it at his own home laid her butt out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in that elevator just wasn't going to happen. And that's just the real talk we're having. I feel like that. Maybe at home he might have got at her, but in the elevator, I think she caught him where he was vulnerable
Right.
and couldn't really do much about it. So,
Right.
I mean, he's not a da baby. I don't know why I went there.
Look, who will knock you smooth out.
I went there, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Because the baby will knock you out. If you put your hands on the baby. And actually, I like the baby. I have a newfound respect for him. When I saw him, freestyle to Pushing P, I said, "Well, okay, the baby, okay,
Nice.
okay." The boy has talent. I mean, he is the baby, but I mean, he's got talent.
Right. He does. We won't dip into his talent, but
Well,
yeah.
beating up folks, but you know what? Okay.
As far as Jay's,
But yeah. I do. We'll go back into with Nia. I'm gonna show you. This is who. I'm just gonna put it on the screen.
Okay. All right. You know what? Let me push my mute button. Hold on. I got to get to the mute. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Now that I'm looking at the photo, my heart is racing. And I'm trying, and these are natural emotions, right? Yeah. I did not know who she was. This is my very first time seeing her. And that is my natural reaction. Wow, what a freaking disappointment. And you can wonder why I say that. I'm not going to dip into why I say this, but what another blow, huh?
You know what? What I can say is this. Isn't it something? You know what? I
you
don't like
picked the
him.
right
I,
picture.
I don't
You
like
picked the,
anything about this guy.
you picked the right picture to pull up of him. Mouth open, foolish looking.
Well, you know the backstory of this, right? This lady is the wife of one of the, please correct me, anybody, if I'm wrong, but she is the wife of one of the owners, or he has a high position with the Celtics.
Oh.
Yeah, she's married.
Oh.
So he was cheating with you cheating with your boss's wife. So then it lets me know how ignorant and immature you are, because you would risk your job to be cheating with the one of your bosses, to be cheating with your boss's spouse.
Well,
So you know, now the thing is that they really can't fire him, because even though they're probably gonna try to find ways to get rid of him.
There's no ethics thing that he's held accountable for.
He can't, because she's not a part of the staff. She's not on
Right.
staff.
Okay, but listen, if he was to say, or somebody in that organization was to stand up and say something racist, that would be an ethics thing, right?
It would.
So why doesn't this fall under some type of an ethics thing in an organization? Just scandal,
Right.
bad scandal press situation, thing like that. I feel like they should lean on that.
I feel awful because, but this is an ongoing thing with African men, especially that come to the United States. Their pleasure is white women. And that's just, to be honest. I wish he would have just married one and moved on with your life, and not played with Nia like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, most of these dudes that have that African, all of that in them, their goal is they think about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you've got an African name. You're Nigerian. Your parents are Nigerian, because he was technically born here in the States, but you came up under their principles and their rulings. You know what I'm saying? And it is something about white women that they love. It's something about it.
Well, from a different looking at it through a different lens. I'm gonna put my other glasses on here. I understand preference.
Right.
I understand stepping out and tasting the desserts that aren't made at home all the time. I understand that it is a lifestyle, and it is a life that happens. It's something about it, and it's a slippery slope, but there's something about
just say it.
Okay, there's something about the person that you're choosing with, right?
That goes back into that foolishness. Oh, you can't help who you fall in love with. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Now, what I will
not gonna lie about it.
I feel like this, right? And this is just because of and I'm here to have my eyes open too, right?
Right.
And hear different things.
Right.
My thing with him is the actual relationship and the person that you chose. Now, I don't know anything about this woman.
Right.
All I'm going off of is that she's married and she's close to you.
Right.
Which only can lead to what we have now every time. Because so there are a lot of women and men who are available, who do not mind that you are married.
Right.
They are willing to be discreet. They follow all the rules, but this woman is married. Yeah. So you are vicious, not only do you have no regard for your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
You have no regard for marriage. You have no regard for business relationships,
Right.
professionalism, um, and foresight. The foresight of knowing that your actions can lead to not just hurting yourself and your wife, but now hurting your business, your friends,
Right.
her children, if she has any, this other woman,
Right.
and things of that nature. So I feel like he gets the big donkey. He gets,
Yeah.
I don't
He
like that at all. So
You
yeah,
know, if we was at the Breakfast Club, he would surely have the donkey of the
yeah,
day.
I feel like he gets the big thumbs, but double thumbs down.
Mhm.
Yeah, big L.
It's
He's
so heartbreaking
uh
because first of all, the problem that I have with him is this: how many black coaches do you see in the NBA?
right,
How many black coaches do you see in the NBA? And look at what you've done. You know, whether if you want it to be or not, you are a representation, and
right,
people are looking at what you do.
right,
You know, unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. I'm not putting that title on you because I don't look at folks like that. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like that, and you know, but you know, but people do. They hold some respect for you. You are a coach
right. When
of an NBA team.
there's
And you
only
know,
14 head
yes,
head black coaches.
come on now. And this is what you do, girl. I mean, you should just see. Look at the wording. Look at the wording. The wording. Ime Udoka has effectively taken down the Boston Celtics along with him. Drowning people often drag others along with them.
Uh-huh.
You know, so this is the type of language
Uh-huh.
that's getting ready to start because of you can't handle what you're doing. Out of all the women in the world, I guess that's what bothers me too, is these folks that's got all this money, they keep recycling the same chicks. You know, I don't know if I don't know, but you know, it's just sad to see. It's sad to see. But then again, you know what? But let's take it a little further. Nia Long has said she does not want to get married.
No, I don't know. Maybe that's because of the man that she's chosen to be with. Maybe
Oh,
she feels like taking that step, it comes with expectations that he's not ready for.
mm,
Maybe though that could be her using her foresight and
hmm,
knowing that marriage will lead to divorce with them.
wow,
Because already the relationship
hmm,
is public and headed in the wrong direction.
yeah,
So maybe she's just one of those women who knows what she's dealing with. She may really love this man. This may be who she's choosing to be with, but marriage for her comes with the expectation of no one else in our relationship. And maybe he's unable to give her that.
well, um, what they're saying, well, this is from Wikipedia. I don't really trust Wikipedia like that. But Wikipedia, maybe this girl was a part of she had a job on the team. You know, most of them do. They take their wives and give them a secretary job or whatever
Right,
job they had.
right.
I don't know. But it says on September 22nd, the Celtics suspended Udoka for the entirety of the season for violations of team policies pertaining to an improper intimate relationship with a female Celtic staff member.
Mm.
Though the relationship was originally believed by the organization to be consensual, the woman later accused Udoka of making unwanted comments towards her.
Oh, here we go with the bull.
There it is.
Here we go. Here
There
we
it
go.
is.
Here we
There
go.
it is. You know
Here we
what?
go.
And this is why I hate the
Here we
media,
go.
because here we go with this foolishness.
She has to save her marriage.
Exactly.
Hello, that's her kicking into high gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a minute.
I don't believe it at all. You said it was consensual.
And it was.
Then the
And
woman
listen,
later accused him of making unwanted comments towards her. See, that's the stuff right there.
well, everybody makes unwanted comments. Okay.
Wow.
Everybody makes unwanted comments. I bet the comments we're making right now, she doesn't want. Okay. That doesn't
Exactly.
make them a problem, right?
No, what I believe is she thinks that her Karen status is going to pay in. But you know what? And I know we're kind of going into another area, but this is why I say to black men that like pulling this type of foolishness, you need to be careful with who you laying your head next to. Because see, Nia would have went in that Black Panther room with you. This fool here that you've been laying up with, that you've been laying up with consensually, oh, she's already throwing your ass under the bus.
Yeah.
Even though she's been laying and playing with you for all this time, now because of her skin color, she wants to say though, she has accused him of making unwanted comments
I
towards her.
I will say I'm not 100% sure why she's saying that. I don't know if it's race. I'm gonna say what I will say is it is their go-to,
It
right?
is.
Okay, I will say that. But what I'm
Always.
gonna say is this may be more of her trying to keep a job or her marriage together that she has. That's
How about you grow up
well, yeah.
like he has issued an apology and
Mhm.
chose not to resign? How about you just issue an apology to the public and to your family
Right.
and
Yeah.
move on? Instead of saying now that you've been sleeping with this dude, now all of a sudden he made unwanted comments.
Right. Before or
Girl,
after
you
the
been
sex.
probably bending over and doing everything else he wants you to do that Neo won't do. Like,
Wow.
Stop playing with this.
Unwanted comments.
Unwanted comments towards her.
Well, I'd like to know.
Okay. Typical.
Yeah. Very
Typical. Y'all,
typical.
look, brothers, y'all keep playing this. Keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Oh man.
I'm saying it. Keep sticking your hand in the fire.
Okay.
You want a taste of it. See, you know how when you a kid and you put your hand on that hot stove and it sizzles a little bit and you take your hand off? That should be a warning lesson for you. That when you touch something that has fire, it burns.
Mm-hmm.
When you gonna get the concept? Now, that speaks volumes to me. You didn't had a whole consensual relationship with this man. Now all of a sudden he's made unwanted comments. After which time he hit it.
That's what I was gonna say. And what were the comments?
Right.
That all has a lot to do with it. You
and
guys
I don't believe that your ass is fat. So I mean,
right.
You didn't say that.
You had a relationship. Sure. Maybe it wound down, and came to an end at some point. And just like any relationship, anything he says to you or about you annoys you or bothers you.
That is true.
You shouldn't have been messing with him.
That's right.
That's why you don't have those type of relationships in the workplace, because it makes enforcing rules and giving criticisms and giving even promotions uncomfortable and have to be looked at with a side eye because of an inappropriate relationship. So
now I do find it odd that, even with Wikipedia, they are refusing to put this lady's name out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And tie her to
remember when we had our conversation last time, I put it out there how I felt about white women being the most overprotected species on earth. That protection that they get, you got Nia Long's name out there, you have his name out there. Why don't we know her name? She's an adult. Why don't we know her name? Why? What are you saving her from that you're not saving anyone else from?
Right.
And she's accusing him. So right away, maybe that saves, she's playing a victim. So now we don't put her name out there because now she's a victim.
Oh, well, let me say this. I have to do a little bit more research. Now, this is what someone is saying. Khalid Abdullah, he said that the Handles team. Wait, hold on. Let me go back. She is married, and her husband caught him. Husband went to the team, and they signed paperwork saying it was consensual, and that should have been it. Later, she said Udoka was inappropriate to her before they hooked up.
Right.
Girl, bad. That's why I said, you know what? Before which one?
Right.
Before which bang?
Right.
You know. But my thing is this: even if that is to be true, you know what? You still hooked up with the dude.
Right.
After he said all those things to you.
And you don't have to. I'm tired. I am tired, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. It's not the topic, so but I'm tired of women acting like they are choiceless.
Mm-hmm.
You are not choiceless.
Right.
You are simple sometimes.
Right.
With your thought process and how you came to the conclusion that you are choiceless. When you are married and you are employed.
Right.
And there is no reason for you to take his unwanted comments and feel like you have to do anything.
Right.
So I'm not going for that anymore. I'm not going for that anymore. If you thought it out and decided that your job was more important than taking a stand, then that was your choice. That was your choice. You were not choiceless. You made a choice. If you decided that you were going to continue to let somebody disrespect you day in and day out, right? I mean, those are choices, right? At some point, if we find out about it, something happened, right? Something happened. If it becomes public, either you spoke out, somebody spoke out, something happened that puts you right in the situation that you made all these choices to avoid, you know? So just honesty. Honesty is going to let a lot of guys and women be held accountable for their actions.
That's right.
And it's going to take a lot of the side eye out of your accusations. They won't be 25 years old.
Right.
People don't want to hear them or don't believe them. They'll be something where it's fresh. You know, I'm tired of that. So I'll leave that alone. But I'm tired of that.
You know, and these guys have to know that when you are doing something, you black. Whether if you consider yourself to be black or not, you are. So when you do something wrong, it's going to be magnetized.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be, I mean, like somebody has died from this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? When I'm sure that there are probably some owners who done already ran through his wife. Some other ones probably have. You know what? But because it's you're going to stick out. So why would you put yourself in this kind of position? Not only that, but check this out. The team members told him to stop. And he chose to keep doing what he was doing. They asked him, they said, bro, you need to chill out with that. You know what I'm saying? This dude is a part owner of the team.
Well, I mean, he made the choice.
He made his choice, and now he's unemployed for the whole year. He's been suspended, so I'm sure they'll probably pay him some of his salary.
Well,
which is great, but now you got to go home and deal with a woman that you didn't want to deal with.
Right. And now you have all the time in the world to work that out.
Right.
I
don't know. I do believe, from what I understand, Nia had just moved to Boston. She hadn't, she had just been there about a week, before it hit the news, trying to settle in. And so I see where he was able to do what he was doing, because if she's in LA or in New York, she's not with him.
Right. Well, I'm not.
But that goes back to, who knows what she has said to him. That's probably why she's sticking by him, because she said, you know what, when you at home with me, I don't want to hear nothing about it. But when you're there, do what you need to do, because I'm not there with you.
Right. I mean, that's very possible.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
That is very possible. And there is no disrespect.
She should have thrown in there, and don't let it affect your job or income. And
Right.
she should have had a list of things that came along with it. He
Right.
seems like he just he's just I don't know. I don't even like this picture. Let's move on to somebody else.
Ah.
I don't like him, and I didn't know who she was, and I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but there it is. It was just one of those things, like, dang, So again, for me, if she was unaware of this and didn't know that this was going on,
Hmm.
I feel very bad for her. I feel
Hmm.
like, wow, what a devastating blow, and what hard work they have ahead of them to get things back on track.
Yeah. If she decides that that is a deal breaker for her,
Yeah.
I mean, she may not, feel that that's a deal breaker for her. Well, clearly it ain't a deal
Well,
breaker,
at this
that he can
point,
embarrass her publicly,
at this
but you
point,
know what?
at this
I
point,
just,
she's saying it's not a deal breaker.
yeah,
I mean, but this early in the game,
it is.
things are still coming out.
It is.
As more and more things come out, she may change her mind.
Right.
I'm
Right. Right.
hoping for the best for her and for him. He needs some
Right.
help. And so I'm hoping that they get what they need. And I hope that she's able to be happy.
Right. Right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on and do it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now let me ask this. Is he African as well?
I don't know. I don't.
He's gotta
No
look.
one knows who he
He's
is.
gotta
But his
look.
name. But his name is Kendu.
Well, he looks like a Kendu. He looks like he can do a lot of damage to Mary. Yeah, he can do.
I take it so personal because it's Mary. It's Mary.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if someone says, I'm willing to share, I was willing to share, that lets me know that you were okay with your husband taking your money. And it's because he don't have any. And let's be real with that.
Mm-hmm.
On the level that she has. He
Mm-hmm.
was her manager. So he's getting what, a 10% of what she makes?
Mm-hmm.
If even that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I can't. I guess where the confusion comes from me is Mary says she'd be willing to share if it was the different person
Mm-hmm.
that he had chosen, someone she didn't know, someone. So I guess I don't understand why she's brokenhearted, and she said it left her with low self-esteem and all of these things.
Because that's not her. That's the kick it in, save my relationship, Mary. That's not how we walked into this, Mary.
Right.
I hope, and I don't know her, and I hope I'm not reading it wrong, but she doesn't give me the vibe that when you are introducing yourself to her, you're trying to get to know her on a personal level, that she's going to be okay with you splitting your focus on her and some other lady.
Right.
It seems to me like her personality, her character and everything is more than enough for a man to handle, right? Like,
Right.
she doesn't give me the vibe where she's boring or anything like that to where he should not be interested.
Right. Well,
So
we don't know that because we don't go home with Mary.
I don't go home with her, but to me, she gives a vibe where I feel like she commands the way she commands a stage, or the way her lyrics command that you hear them.
Yeah.
I feel like she commands your attention.
Right.
She commands your attention. And so I don't see her going into a relationship where she's not getting what she needs. So with that being said, her saying, I was willing to share, I feel like that issue probably came up once she found out he was cheating.
Yeah.
And we, as we do all kinds of things, well, just not her, anybody but her. But really, that's not how you feel. You're just trying to end that particular situation and make him make a choice that's you at that very moment. It's desperation is what I hear. I don't see Mary in that, when she says no one can love you better than me. I'll give you all the love that you need. I'll do everything I can. We need to make it work. We need to. I don't get the impression that when she starts out and she's happy, that she's thinking that she's sharing anything, I don't know, just how I feel about it.
Okay. Oh, I can see that. Maybe the desperation tactic of first of all not being embarrassed again,
right.
Because they have been together so long, a long time. What was it, 14 years,
right?
12 13, somewhere in there between 12 and 14 years, and this is the person you said I do to, and you want to make it work, but then again, that relationship is not this one. Hold on, let me put this on here. That relationship is not this one. It's not this one. When Kendu Isaacs does not have Jay-Z money.
No,
he doesn't. So if for her, it was probably easier for her to say, you know what, I'm out, because you didn't already caused me enough pain and heartache.
Maybe, but also Mary's how old is how that does play. How old is Mary?
Mary now is, let's see, let's get the answer that. I know she's 50.
Okay. And Beyonce is a little younger than her.
Huh?
I said Beyonce is a little younger than her.
Yeah, she's 51.
Like at an older age, and even myself personally speaking, it's easier for me to break up than it ever has been as a young woman. I do not hesitate. And as a younger woman, I just rode it out. You stay too long. I feel like it's easier when we get older to just walk away. It hurts. It still feels bad, but it's just the easier choice to make versus losing your income, maybe losing your status, and living in misery longer than you have to. I feel like at a certain ages in our life, it becomes easier to make those decisions of leaving something that we're comfortable with. So I give that to Mary. As far as Jay-Z and Beyonce, I'm gonna let you take the lead only because I have a favor for them, So
yes, you do.
I do favor them. So go ahead and you lead
the
way.
Well, as with any of the other couples, I'm gonna ask, clearly it wasn't an issue for her because he cheated and she went on and had more babies, So I mean, so clearly that was not an issue for her. But then again, we don't know how those children got in there. It could have been in vitro. It could have been a lot of things. Doesn't necessarily mean that it was the actual sexual content. Girl, you just don't know what these people got money. Girl, they can have a baby put in there with no time,
Right.
So I don't know, but we do know that they are his children.
I'm not gonna play this game with you.
Well, they are his, you know what I mean? But no, wait. And I'm saying that because we had the whole conversation
about Michael.
Exactly. We know that those children are not Michael Jackson's biological children. Well, these children are biologically Jay-Z's
Oh,
and
God,
Beyonce.
yes, I
So
do.
that's why I say that. And
Okay.
honestly, in my opinion, Blue Ivy, now that she's getting older, looks a lot like Beyonce.
Yeah, she's
She
morphing
really does. She
into
looks like a younger Beyonce.
she's morphing into something I like a lot better than I was seeing originally.
Nope.
And that's no shade.
It ain't.
It's no shade. She was just looking a lot like Pops. And for a little girl, it's the same thing I say with The Rock's daughter, right?
Mhm.
She looks just like him.
Yeah.
And for me, I was very attracted to The Rock.
Yes, you were.
And to see him with a wig on, you know what I'm saying? It's ugly to me. So she looks just like him. So I'm not calling her ugly. She's a beautiful woman, you know, in her own right, but she looks just like The Rock. I mean, come on, you know, he's a man. So it's one of those things where I like how she's growing into her look. It's starting to be a lot more flattering. So
right. And I mean, you know what? After they've been together a long time.
Yeah.
They really have been. You should know, how long have they been together?
Well, I don't know, because I was on the fence that they had broken up for a little bit. So I'm really not sure. But let's go and say, let's say, what was that?
We can always figure it out.
Jay-Z, and this is a long time ago, but this is after Destiny's Child. This is more of a solo Beyonce. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not quite sure how long. I remember before the marriage, they were giving each other those like really extravagant birthday presents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
well, they collaborated in 2003.
Right. Which
and
I'm going to give
they
finally year before that or two before that.
Right. So I mean, she was very young. She was very, very young.
And let's be real, okay? We could see her going places, right? It's a whole group, honestly. Yeah. We could see them going places. Jay-Z was popular, but did you envision the mogul he is now? No, I didn't see that coming. And so
I think with Jay-Z, I did. With Jay-Z, I did because I saw what he did with Rockefeller. And when he moved into the president of Def Jam, I knew he was making some moves outside of rap. You know, but I mean, he's done what he's done.
Well, yeah.
And at least a lot of the things that he's doing is still in the forte of what he's doing, because he's signed a contract with the NFL. He has his own, NBA team.
I said, when I was watching him early in his career, I didn't see this.
Yeah,
I could see Beyonce being a history maker. I guess maybe because I wasn't as into rap.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So just seeing him and stuff. Same thing with Snoop. When seeing him just from the beginning, I never thought that he would end up being an old man, even, right? I used to think maybe he would even make it, you know? So, yeah, I didn't see that with him. But since that's where he's at, let's get to the cheating.
Right. Yeah.
She's definitely not okay with it. And I'm going to say that because of the music.
Yeah.
I will say it because of the music, and I'll say it because of the interaction in the elevator. I'll say she feels disrespected at some points. I'm not sure what those points are, not sure how it all goes down, but I'll put her in the category of she's not okay with it at all times.
Wow.
Now, what do you think?
I believe that she's not okay. Well, her sister kind of
her sister's not okay with it for sure.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know because she chose to stay. You
Okay, so
know,
let's run it back a little bit. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Let's run it back and to, let's see, ring
Yeah.
the alarm, right?
Okay.
With
Okay.
a clear message,
Yes.
right? Ring the alarm,
Yeah. And remember, we had a full conversation about that.
right? It's a full-fledged thing. And
She
I'm gonna
said, if I can
say
sit your little coast if I let you go.
there's a lot of education in those emotional lyrics,
Yeah.
right? And it makes a lot of sense. And so what I feel is being okay with it is that what okay, let's how about this? How okay, let me ask you.
Okay.
What is being okay with it mean to you? Like,
Being okay with is that you have accepted the fact that he's going to sleep around and entertain other women.
got it.
So, that being okay with the fact that this is what he does. He may
I
not do it all the time, but if
mhm.
the option is there for him to do, he's going to take it.
Okay, so I'll put her in the category of being okay with it.
Yeah.
I will put her, but I will put her also. She's not. It bothers her.
Yeah.
It bothers her, and if it gets to a certain point, she pretends to bust a move.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I will leave you. I will put you in a song. I will put our business out there. Whatever it is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's I. And I guess because you're saying being okay with it, she's accepted it more than once. So I don't know. I guess it's such a gray area for me.
Yeah.
Being okay with it and accepting the person, you know. I don't know. He seems like a guy that's just going to be cheating,
Mm.
you know, just from the behaviors that I was reading about when the girl put him in the book about how she
Ah.
hopped in the car and he didn't even speak,
Uh,
just. And so I feel like
uh,
he's the guy that's going to be taking his shot and shooting his shot. How does she really feel about that? Yeah, she's staying and yeah, she's still with them, but
yeah.
is she, how does that affect their relationship? Like, how do
Right.
we get to this picture right here?
You know what? I guess until they sit down and explain and not drop hints or
Mhm,
whatever, then
mhm.
she can explain how that feels to her and say, you know what, this is just something that I don't condone of. But can I
Or
slap him?
I would want her to answer specifically.
Well, they're not gonna give us specific questions
Right.
because
And
that's the way
and
the game is.
well, but I would want this question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would want to know how you got to this picture
Mm.
from the rumors of you looking for another home. Remember those rumors where she's
Yes.
searching? This is right around lemonade
Well,
time.
I do believe that he was on Letterman and he talked about it a little bit, and he said that they did do therapy. They
Okay,
did
got
do
it.
therapy. They did do couples therapy.
Hmm.
Because he said, I didn't realize how much this was affecting her. But I mean, come on, you cheating on your wife, that's gonna affect her. Like, stop it. I mean, with the lies, I mean, the stuff that people create in their heads to justify what you're doing. So, so I guess that goes back to, what is cheating a deal breaker. So, to kind of maybe wrap things up, for us, the big question is how do we feel
Right.
about cheating? Is that a deal breaker in your relationship? So, Karen, I'll let you take the floor with
Well, thank you.
that.
um, in all honesty, based on everything we've talked about and stuff, I'm gonna say no. It's not a deal breaker. And not because I'm okay with it per se. I'm not thrilled and it's not like, yeah, go cheat, But um I do weigh things out. I'm at a point in my life where I weigh out my happiness. My happiness has got to be first. And what I noticed a lot of times is that we're really happy until we find out about the cheating.
Right. Yeah.
And that changes everything, you know. But up until that moment, you were thrilled, you were
Yeah.
happy, you were in bliss. And
Yeah.
so I fall under that category. I don't want to know about it.
Right.
I
Right.
don't want to know about it. That's risky, because with that type of mentality and attitude, if you're not dealing with the correct partner, they take that for granted. You know, they don't take your feelings, into consideration. And so you get into a situation where you're building a relationship and you're risking our relationship.
Right.
So you have got to be with a mature enough person who's not whose intent isn't on finding love out there, you know,
Right.
and who knows that choosing a partner is a choice, it's not accidental.
Right.
um, and so that's why I kind of feel like that. I feel like, I guess, if you have the right, it's not a deal breaker for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not okay with it. I guess I ride both sides of the fence.
Well, I'm not going to ride both sides of the fence because I feel the same way. I think that that's just the way it is. It's not a deal breaker for me also. And I've had conversations with a lot of people, even married, some of my married friends,
Mhm.
and they say it's a deal breaker. And and then I have conversations with people who are saying, oh my God, that's a deal breaker. But let me tell you something. You don't know what may happen when you're in a relationship and you're married and you've been in a long-term relationship with someone and you have commingled your things together. You
Mhm.
have, a whole life that you've built together. And if this man is saying, you know what, this is something that happened, you know what, I admit it, I'm wrong, you know what, I promise to you that I'll never do it again, because people have done that. They always say once a cheater, always a cheater. I hate cliches like that because there are people who actually have done it and they say, wait a minute, hold on. This woman is the best thing I've ever had,
Uh-huh.
and so I need to make sure I get my stuff together, and it goes the same way. You know what? Here
Mhm.
this woman out here cheating on her dude, and she's like, wait a minute. The guy that I have at home is the best man I've ever had. This man take
Mhm.
care of me. He do everything that I need. I need to get my act together, so for me, it is not a deal breaker. I think, and you know what? And I also think that if you look at it, if you ask this question, look at the person, the age, and the experience.
Well, you know what would be interesting
Mm-hmm.
is if we could get, male or female, someone who's actually been is in or has been in a relationship for 30 years, 40
Oh,
years.
that'd be nice.
The things that what were the pitfalls
Mm-hmm.
that you guys faced and got through to get to where you're strong today?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine we would be hearing stories of domestic violence,
Oh, yes.
gambling,
Mm-hmm.
drug abuse,
Mm-hmm.
adultery,
Mm-hmm.
child abuse,
Ooh.
um, lies,
Oh, yeah.
just lots of things that people go through, because as we're married and living life, we're still growing as people.
Right, right,
So we
right.
grow out of a lot of bad habits,
We do.
and we may grow out of them with each other.
Right,
I
right.
hear a lot of times some couples that you'll talk to, they used to drink, you
Yeah,
know, used to do certain things,
yeah,
and they just don't do those things anymore. They can't even really pinpoint when it stopped.
yeah.
They just know that one day they just weren't fighting physically anymore. You know what I'm saying? One day they just weren't drinking anymore. One day. So I would be interested in hearing a few different scenarios of the pitfalls that
Yeah.
the long relationships.
I would have loved to, like, actually for people to hear my grandmother, but she's passed away. She's been
Mhm.
gone now for a couple of years. And um this both of my great grandparents and my great grandparents on my mother's side and my grandparents on my dad's side, both of those couples were married for numerous of years. But I'll
Mhm.
take my my grandparents on my dad's side, they were married almost 60 years.
Wow.
And yeah, you know what? And when they got to 50, I'll never forget this. We wanted to have my grandparents renew their vows.
Mhm.
And my grandmother was not with it. She
Mm.
was not with it. And she said, I said I do the first time and I ain't saying it again. And that sent shockers to me. That sent shockers to me. And in my mind, I believe she had to do it again. She wouldn't do it. You know, because we see the nurturing and the beautiful side of grandparents when we come along.
Right.
You know, I didn't get to see the grandparents that my dad got to get to see.
Right.
You know, the tumultuous, you know,
Mm-hmm.
things of them growing up and, you know, the things that, you know, happened and all that kind of stuff, you know. And my daddy always used to say to me, well, you don't know the granddad that I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know a whole different side of him, you know, which is true.
Yeah.
Which is true, you know. But I want to say this though, you know, to finish off what I was saying about is cheating a deal breaker for me. It is not, but however, it's not something that I condone either.
Right.
You know, like you were stating, it's not something. I'm not giving you the torch to say, "Ooh, go on ahead and hit that." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening. That's not happening at all. You know, and no, I don't want to be in an open relationship because when I say it, this is it. That's what I mean.
Right.
You know, and so no, I'm not. I'm not giving you the torch to just go and do what you want to do. What I am saying is I'm willing to listen to you.
Right.
I'm willing to listen to you. And I think where a lot of this stuff really comes from is the notion of this white picket fence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the dreams that we've been sold with all these fairy tales and, you know, and all these of what life should really be, you know. Because if it was the way that I thought it was gonna go, you know, I'd have been married by now, you know, had a husband and, you know, all these things, but that wasn't the way my life turned out to be. You know, and was that for some choices that I made? Of course, you know, but and no, it wouldn't have been what I chose.
Well, and also, you know, hindsight is always 2020. You know,
True.
looking back, there's some people that I've been asked, you know, and so I'm very glad that I declined because looking back, it would not have worked in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, hallelujah.
So it really comes to picking the right partner and having an understanding and no games being played. And so if you do something and you're holding my feelings, you know, cheating is already, I would say the deceitfulness and stuff is already there. You're already doing something, you know. But like I said, in relationships, we're really happy until we really find out about it.
Right.
Something about that awareness is where I have a problem. So,
I see what you're saying.
and your intent, you know, which is why I have no problem with prostitution. Because I don't. And that's why. It's because there are people with urges and stuff like that, but there's no intent to hurt my wife. You know, I don't intend to make a relationship or intend to become friends and have this year-long thing, but I do have a part of my life and lifestyle where I have to do this. You know, I whatever the situation is.
Well, let me ask you this. What if it's the sexual encounter with the same person? He wants that one person all the time.
But that happens because we're comfortable when we are able to be free and express ourselves, even if it's for pay.
Wow.
Find someone that, because all of these interactions, even in that situation, are emotional connections.
Right.
There's vibes, there's feelings, there's attractions that happen. And so if you find someone that is okay with your desire, or fantasy or what have you, and they don't judge you, and you feel like it's okay, that's enough to pay for.
Gotcha. You're right.
So
You are absolutely right. But again, I'm gonna say I think that a lot of times we're looking for this fairy tale of, oh, you know what? I'm gonna meet this guy, and I'm gonna, we're gonna stay together forever, because this is how it's this. I've seen my parents do this, or and that may be true. But I have some friends that are working on their second and third marriage because they thought the same thing.
Right.
You're gonna go through some stuff. You're gonna go through some stuff. You're gonna go through some stuff. If you plan to be with somebody for 60 years, you're gonna go through some stuff. And I think that's why I'm glad that I never got married at a young age, because first of all, I'd have been in prison by now. But I'm glad that, because I was engaged, and I politely, ended that engagement and the whole relationship, and that was better for me. But out of that union, my son came along, and he's a great guy. Again, this is the same dude that bought me tickets to go see MJB last night.
Right.
So I mean, you think about all those things, but I'm very grateful that I didn't get married. But now at this time, being a little older and in the game a little bit longer, there are just some things that I'm not going to deal with at this point. And once you hit 40, you need to know what you want. You need to know what you want. And I expect for you to be done in the streets.
Right.
That's just how I feel, and if you're not done, I don't know if it's just me or the approach, but girl, I think I wear it well. Where some men are just like, let me go ahead and walk by her and leave her alone. Look, just leave her alone because it ain't gonna work.
You don't look like
you have some that'll play and try to shoot their shot, when you ain't got a chance. But the ones that believe that they have a shot, they still playing.
Right.
And I'm just not with that anymore. I'm getting a little older. I really want to, enjoy the moments. I have a whole nother second chance at life. So it's not, this second go is not gonna be as hard as that first section was. It's just not. And if you're not here to enhance me, I'm not. And notice I didn't say complete me, because I don't need you to complete me. I can do that, but you should be here to enhance me. And that's the way I feel. Even on the other side, I don't want to complete you. I don't want to be your everything.
Right.
Because I still need for you to be independent without me. So I mean, but I do believe that we get caught up in these fairy tales, and then we get caught up in the numbers, like my grandparents, being married for 60 years. Now, what I can say is this: my grandparents on my mother's side, my great grandparents, oh honey, my granddaddy was faithful. My granddaddy was faithful. He was. And I used to watch my granddaddy come home and just after working and just lay his check out. Here it is. He's saying, here, sis, but he respected my grandmother like that. You know what I'm saying? And she was a whole bit of 4'11".
Okay.
But I mean, but they got married a little later on too. They got married both. Well, he lived until he was 80 something. My grandmama lived until she was 96.
Wow.
Matter of fact, she outlived her entire family. Okay. She outlived all of her siblings. I think it was 8 of them. She outlived all of them. So, she was around for a long time. And, I wish I could tap into her brain. The last years, she had Alzheimer's. I think the last 12 years of her life, she had 10. I would give her 10. She had Alzheimer's. So we couldn't have those, conversations anymore to get inside of, the relationships. But what I can say is this: with Alzheimer's, it is funny because what she remembered was the pain that she suffered from her first husband.
Wow.
we would go see her, and that's all she would talk about is my grandmother's father, her husband, her first husband. Um, that's all she would talk about. That's all. And I used to feel bad for my granddaddy because he was like, I'm sitting here,
Mhm.
and it's so cute. They would, the little bus would come and get him, and he would go sit, and spend time with her, just
Mhm.
to sit with her, even though she didn't know he was there, but that was his woman. That was his woman. And he loved her until the day he died. Okay.
Okay.
But you know what? He would go and he would just be there with her. In her mind, what she still felt and what she could see, and she was reliving the pain that my first grandfather put her through. And then there's something how trauma can follow you that long.
Yes.
Trauma can
Okay.
follow you
And
that long. And you
Trump
done had a whole nother husband that
and
you've been married to for over 50 years, but
and
all you
who,
remember is that foolishness.
well, it just shows you how the most packed away stuff
Yes.
is the stuff that comes to the light. The
Mm-hmm.
stuff that's deep inside, the stuff it usually is the childhood, stuff,
Mm.
and the just being afraid, they go through a lot of that. So it's very interesting, and it makes me hope that I just don't have to experience that. I don't know what's lingering in this closet
Right.
that I don't want to experience again, man, how amazing. Well,
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this. It was
absolutely.
really, really nice.
Well, absolutely. We're gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's kind of brunch. It's a little brunchish time right now. So thank you for hanging in there with us as we always try to bring the funk for you.
Yeah.
But if that's all that we have for today, Karen, I'll let you end, and then I'm gonna click off.
Yeah, I don't have much else. I'm excited about coming on next time and talking and getting everyone's, if you have pictures of your pets that you want to share, please send those to chat, and any ideas, menu ideas for dinners, breakfasts, and brunches. I would like to um, pick the brains of people and change my menu at home with some ideas from others. Getting a little bland around here, so I would enjoy that. So that's
Well,
all.
this morning we had a little bit of grits and eggs and bacon, and
Nice.
so we kind of, I can say this, we kind of stick with what we know, but then
Right.
again, you know what? But that's what we say. You know what? We need to start upping some things and exploring and bringing some new things in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how
Bringing
you
some
do
new
it.
things in. That's how you diversify.
Diversify and pick up some new traditions, some new ways of doing
Absolutely.
things. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. If you have cute pictures of your pets or any recipes that you find comfort in, or that are your go tos, or that maybe someone passed down, I'd love for you to share those.
All right. And then with that, we'll go ahead and end on a beautiful note. Everybody have a wonderful week. As today, well, today really starts a new week, but for most everybody, Monday starts a new week. But enjoy the rest of your week, and make sure you've subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you can be prepared and aware of when we go live. Okay, because we just may have a pop-up off of something that just recently happened. So make sure you are subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And with that being said, everybody have a wonderful afternoon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.